most people were walking on eggshells in regards to asking Richard Hart questions during the Hex conference. However, there's some questions that I thought were a little bit spicy, and I'm going to play those, but the most interesting part was the response that Richard Hart gives.
The community that you pride yourself in touching off as a grassroots event. We were always it couldn't have been that we were real people that were pragmatic, discerning, intelligent adults that really could follow somebody that was speaking truth. We had to be bots or sycophantic fanboys or mercenary. Now the claim is that we're mercenary promoters for hire, but none of which are true. But what do you think our next evolution is in terms of the community? We're going to survive this bear, and then how do we come out the other side?
I think a lot of people want Pulse Chain to succeed a lot more than wanted Hex to succeed. Mm-hmm. And so Hex still isn't listed properly on most ranking sites. Hex still isn't on big exchanges. Hex still isn't spoken of favorably by people that pretend to know what they're talking about. That's all opportunity. That's all gates that can only open. They can't get more closed, really. I guess they could just remove it instead of ranking it improperly, which is basically lying, I might add. Like, they're lying about its rank. It's not true. Mm-hmm. It's a lie. I think that you will have less of that in Pulse Chain.
Cool.
People like free money. A lot of people are going to receive a lot of free coins. It's the world's largest free airdrop. And a lot of influencers have publicly stated that they are participating in it. So I think you're going to see a lot less gatekeeping for Pulse Chain and PulseX than you saw with Hex. That's my gut feeling.
Good.
Now, these are some gems of information that Richard Hart is dropping, and he's saying that he expects Pulse Chain to have different treatment as compared to Hex and what happened with Hex. There are also some key differences between Hex and Pulse Chain that work in favor of Pulse Chain and the Hex Pulsican ecosystem. The fact that the marketing is not the same. Hex was marketed almost using some Ponzi tactics. Now that has been a double-edged sword. It has been good in terms of bringing adoption to more people, but it has also attracted a lot of negative attention. So that will almost likely be solved by Pulse Chain.
Thank you. I got one other question, and this is the only question that I think that should truly matter to an RH Maxi.
Thing.
Yes.
When Pulse Chain is working every day, like Hex has been, what happens to the narrative of who Richard is? Is Richard the guy that raised $27 million for charity, or is the guy that spends the most on luxury goods, or is he the guy with the free self-help books, the only self-help author with a coin that I'm aware of, or is he the guy that made Ethereum fees cheaper and did the world's largest free airdrop? And you're like, eventually they're going to have to be like, oh yeah, he's better than us. True. Because you just, or is he the guy that called the price top on the day? Like, it's eventually the list of achievements becomes so long that you look like a raw idiot if you don't show respect, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Very good. I have a yes/no question for you, and this is the biggest one that I could come up with. To get a yes or no from you should be the only thing on true believers' minds, and it should settle all doubt for everybody. The question is, for somebody that we trust, we believe in, is it all going to plan? That is, everything from the products that you've released, the product you've released, the projects that you're involved in, the community itself, your personal life, everything. In a yes, no, is it all going to your vision, to your plan?
Now, here's the thing, right? If you listen to the way the question is asked, the question is asked in a sort of a leading way. And when I was watching it first, I kind of paused and asked myself, what do you think Richard Hart's response will be to this question? Because clearly he's being pushed to say that everything's going according to plan, everything is fine. But what does Richard Hart say?
Even though there have been adjustments and pivots. Adjustments and pivots aside.
The thing that I like the most about his response is it's completely, blatantly honest, right? Now, despite the fact that the question was leading, imagine if Richard Hart had said that things are going according to plan. Well, not exactly. What happened to mid-May, right? What happened to 2 more weeks? What happened to all of that? Things have definitely not gone according to the plan, as it were. However, we're still pushing forward.
Is it for the most part going to plan?
Well, I mean, Hex exceeded my expectations. So, 10,000x in a year and a half. That's crazy. Before staking. Perfect, flawless operation. Even the front end never goes down. Insane. Mm-hmm. Like, wow. That's amazing. the community. Like I just saw a guy with 3 Hex tattoo or 3 Richard Hart product tattoos. He had a Hex tattoo, a Pulse X, and a Pulse chain tattoo, full sleeve. I was like, God, okay, wouldn't have expected that. The community does stuff that are out of the blue, like a Hex NASCAR or those Hex Lamborghinis that raced in the GTC series in the UK. Those things looked awesome. So a lot of these things have exceeded my expectations, and then some things just took longer than even I thought. Right, like.
All in all, Pulse Chain is late. However, there's good enough reasons, and I will be dropping more content, releasing all the information about why Pulse Chain was late and when we can expect Pulse Chain. So make sure you are subscribed. Thank you guys for watching, and remember, none of this is financial advice or any kind of advice at all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.